Hello, welcome back. Yes, we're back. It's time to do some more Dungeon Master preparation. For those of you who have been missing the opportunity to give your feedback and help build something, we're doing adventure building today. So the idea is that I'm going to give you a presentation. I'm going to use some slides, go over the basics. If you have been here before and you've done that sort of thing before, that's all right. Because instead, while I'm talking about that stuff, I'm going to put up a poll, and that poll is basically steering you in a particular direction. If people want to make an adventure after the presentation around the volcano, that's what we will do. And if that's the sort of thing that you're interested in, then look, I would suggest come up with some ideas so you can include them. And then when we go from the slide presentation, we will go into the creation aspect at the end. Then you'll have a whole bunch of ideas that you can present, and we'll see how it all comes together. I want you to think, focusing on, if we're going to do this, if we do this, we might not, people might say no, but if we do it, focus on actually inside the volcano rather than outside the volcano, okay? Not getting to the volcano. So yes, I'll put up that poll, see how people feel about that. Get some food, some drink, get comfortable. And I'm going to go through this slide fairly quickly. I have upgraded it to 4K for those of you who are in a position to be able to benefit from 4K. So yes, hopefully it should be a good experience. And let's get on with the job, which is talk about adventure creation and then do some adventure creation. That's why we're here, right? Yep. Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, because usually I do talk about Dungeons and Dragons. This is the weekly Dungeon Master preparation. This is lesson 1, where we go about making adventures. This is adventure building. So what does that look like? Well, I have an overview, what I will cover, and we'll obviously be doing some adventure creation, but first off, I'm going to talk about the types of adventures that you would use, or can use, the types of quests you can include. I'll break that all down for you, basic adventure building, and then there's some miscellaneous recommendations. This is all fairly short, this shouldn't take too long, and then of course we will actually make an adventure. Okay, that's always been my intention. I'm going to explain everything. I'm going to demonstrate it so you'll actually see the process taking place, and you'll actually be able to participate and take part in the live chat and actually help me make an adventure while we're live. That's the intention, and hopefully it might be something you can use yourself. Okay, so if you didn't know, D&D Beyond has a combat encounter builder. If you're interested, it's free. You don't have to pay for it. If you're struggling to make encounters that are combat focused, then there's a good place to go. Okay, let's go into the basics around types of adventures and break this down for you so that you've got a better idea of what I'm talking about. So first off, sandbox or hex crawl adventures. This is where the characters start in a set location but can venture out to any new place they would like to explore. So they can go north, south, east, west. There's no restriction whatsoever. And then you have your linear adventure. This is where characters usually start at the beginning and follow a set path to a climax for the story, or they often have a very strong plot line, whereas a sandbox or hex crawl may not have a strong plot line, but it will have an overlaid ultimate goal, like there's something you still have to achieve. The third one is the point crawl adventure. It is built from meaningful locations that are linked together by multiple in-world pathways. So it looks more like a flow chart rather than just a string of events or just a great huge open map. It's a different sort of animal in itself. And you can also get a combination of these three. You can get a combination of the sandbox, the linear, and the point crawl, depending on where you are in your adventure and the way that you build it. Wizards of the Coast has a tendency to build a lot of their adventures around having a linear path, and then you follow this path, and then you get off the train, and then you explore the sandbox and get back onto the train, and then go down the track a bit further and do the same thing all over again. And so you have a combination of sandbox and linear to give you some more options and an opportunity for the players to feel like they have some sort of input and have some choice. And it's easy to structure. There are also a couple of other things we need to talk about with regard to adventure types, and that is there is a difference. They're not good or bad, they just have their own aspects to them, and that is the location-based adventure. They don't have a set plot or events. This is where a place has usually a villain or a potential conflict to interact with. And there's an overall goal, and that's probably about it. But there aren't a lot of set timed events that will take place. And a lot of the older adventures that were published by TSR are location-based adventures. They actually very easy for anybody to run, which is why they built those sorts of adventures. Then you have event-based adventures rather than location, and they are often set out in a flow chart with branching options, and there you have a starting point, obviously. These types of adventures usually have a bit of a problem in that if a player does not follow the flow chart, then you have to improvise. And so there's a different aspect to them. Whereas the other one, the location-based adventure, usually assumes that they can potentially go anywhere and you will have to improvise, and therefore you don't have to worry about them going left, right, or whatever, because they're going to go there anyway at some point. Whereas event-based adventures, often because they're not based around location, can run into the problem of if they go off script, you now have to improvise quite a bit. Okay, so that's the types of adventures that you can have, but we also have types of quests, and I'm going to break those all down. There's quite a few. First off is the fetch quest. This is when the characters have to get something from another location that is potentially a long way away. And a good example of that is Avengers Endgame, where they have to collect up all of these stones and then put them into a gauntlet, and then of course reverse the snap. Okay, that's a fetch quest. There's a lot of fetching going on in that particular movie. The delivery quest is when the characters are in possession of an object, a person, or a piece of information, and they must deliver it to a specific location. So a good example of that is Lord of the Rings, where they have a ring that they have to deliver to Mount Doom and throw it in there, and that's basically a delivery quest. There's also the protection quest, where the characters have to escort a person safely to a second location or a set of locations, potentially, or they might be just set in a particular location where they don't move, but they're just going to protect this individual or whatever it might be. It doesn't necessarily have to be around a person. It's usually just they have to protect something. A good example of this is the Seven Samurai. For those of you who aren't aware of this particular movie, then the Magnificent Seven is a good example where the cowboys have to protect the town folk from basically a robber baron. Okay, and then you have the Multiverse of Madness, where Doctor Strange is having to protect a girl from the interest of Scarlet Witch. So another example of a protection quest. Okay, destroy quests or kill quests, they require a character to go on either a monster hunt quite often, or vanquish a main villain, or destroy an object. So you're either destroying or killing something. And probably the best example of that is Star Wars, because in Star Wars you have to destroy the Death Star, and then of course you have to destroy the second Death Star, and then there's Star Killer Base, and then of course you've got Darth Vader to deal with, and then you've got the Emperor as well. So Star Wars is a very good example of destroy quests and kill quests. Investigation quests get a character to find new information or to investigate a mystery, solve a crime or a problem of some kind. A good example of this is the Sherlock Holmes books and movies and TV series, where Dr. Watson helps Sherlock Holmes to try and figure out the murder or the mystery that's taken place. And the best example I can think of. Negotiation quests require a character to deceive or persuade someone that might involve some sort of diplomacy or intrigue. or perhaps even trade. A good example of a negotiation quest is something like Star Trek, where the crew of Enterprise usually have to talk with a different alien species and come to an arrangement. Even Avatar is a good example of a negotiation quest gone wrong, where the natives are trying to communicate with the humans that have come for their special rocks. The survival quest, this forces a character into a dangerous situation that they have to get out of. It might be a natural disaster, it could be an army on the warpath, or it could be a prison. Maybe you just need to survive living in a prison of some kind. So survival quests. Now, the best example of a survival quest that I can think of is Alien, the original movie, where you survive the alien that's now roaming through the ship, or Terminator, where John Connor and Sarah Connor, was it John Connor? No, it's Sarah Connor and whoever, is it Reese, I believe, have to survive the cyborg or Terminator from destroying them, and so they're on the run. So this is a survival quest. The last one is the attainment quest. This has the characters seek a treasure, like an object or a person, but other things could be included, such as political power or positions, land, castles. And the best example I can think of this is Moana, the animated movie, where Moana has to go and find a green rock to stop the ocean from turning black. Or Finding Nemo, good example. The father fish has to go and find the lost little fish, his son, who's gone missing. So that's the best example for the attainment quest. And you can have combinations of all of these. Out of those 8, you can have a whole bunch of different combinations. Now that we've done that, let's go into the basics of adventure building. Like, what does that look like? Now, we're not covering it in such a way that you would be publishing an adventure. We're setting it out as if you were writing your own adventure for your own group, where you don't need to have a publishable document. Okay, this is more in note form, and I've taken most of this from Chris Perkins. This is his approach. This may not be suitable for everybody. Some people will feel like this isn't enough, other people will feel like it's too much, and some people will find this is just enough. So first off, your adventure title or designation to differentiate this session notes from something else, so that we know what part of the adventure or session this is going to be running. Okay, so that might be the adventure title, or it might be designation, session 1 or session 2 or whatever, depending on how you plan things out. Your next aspect that you need to cover is your adventure hook or goal. This might even include just an adventure recap. Okay, if you're running an existing adventure campaign or adventure, it might be just a recap, and sort of as part of your recap, you'll have underlined what the current goal is at this particular point, because there might be a number of goals within this adventure that you have created. But ultimately, the thing that we're looking for is, what is the adventure hook or goal? We need to make sure we are focused on that. I would keep this to between 3 and 4 sentences. Try not to get too carried away. Things like adventure goals can be found in the Dungeon Master's Guide on page 92 to 81, but I have given you a whole bunch of different concepts with regards to how quests are set up. So you should have all the tools that you need to make something. A list of your player characters' names, so that you know what their names are, their class, their race, flaws and goals in one sentence. If you can do that, you might not be able to get all of that information, but you should at least have the name of the player character, all of them that are in your group, because remember, they are major. They're a major force in the story itself, that you're in the adventure. You need to have that information, their class, their race. And then a flaw is always nice if you're giving out inspiration, or potentially they might have their own goal that is linked to the adventure or the campaign overall. Okay, next thing, this is where we start getting to the nuts and bolts, and that is adventure locations. I would suggest having at least 5 in total when you're building your adventure, but you may have more. But if you want to do this quickly, 5 is a good starting point. One of those is probably needing to be a town, a city, or a tavern, a starting point essentially. Make sure you have the name, the basic description of what it is, if the name doesn't tell you what you need to know. And you can get a lot of different ideas for dungeon locations or adventure locations in the Dungeon Master's Guide on page 99, 101, 113 to 114, and 292 to 301. You can also find a lot of pre-made maps for Dungeons and Dragons, or real historic locations can be of inspiration to you. I often draw from history. It's very helpful to me. Maybe it's helpful to you as well. This might also include a separate page. When you're doing your adventure write-up, the basic structure will be one page, but there might be a second page, and that'll be the map that you draw up for that particular adventure. Okay, so you know where everything is. The next thing you need to have is a list of 5 non-player characters. That will be their name, basic appearance, personality, motivation. The things that you're usually going to be trying to build for your non-player characters for your adventure are, ultimately, you need to have a villain of some kind or a threat, but usually it's the villain. You're going to have a patron or a quest giver. It can be one or the other. And then you may have a victim, you may not, but you might have an NPC who is the victim in this case. You might have an NPC that is supposed to help the party. They're called the helper. Or they could also have a mentor, which would fill the same role as the helper. But anything else outside of these would be extra, okay? You're not always going to have every single one of these. Usually you have patron or quest giver and villain, and the rest are usually extra that you decide to create for your adventure. Now, the backgrounds in the player's handbook on page 127 to 141, that has a whole lot of really good stuff for the player's handbook. And I would suggest using those to help build your non-player characters. We are going to cover building non-player characters in a future video, so don't worry, or live stream. I think that might be tomorrow, in fact. Creating non-player characters in the Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master Guide, you can find a little bit of information, not a lot, but there is something on page 89 through to 91. The villain's goals. If you need to come up with the goal for your villain, if you look in the Dungeon Master's Guide on page 94 to 95, you'll also find a lot of really good information that usually gives you most of what you need. Otherwise, if you have a set of Rory's story cubes, you can roll them to give you some ideas about how to come about making your own NPCs. This is a technique used by Sly Flourish or Mike Shea. You roll 3 or 4 of these to determine the aspects of your NPC. Okay, the next thing you're going to need encounters. You need to have something. Now, they don't need to be combat. They could be a different range of different things. I would suggest about 6 encounters. You're not going to be building not random encounters. Forget about random encounters as being part of this process. That you can do easily on the fly if you need to, but that's not part of your adventure building. Random encounters, no. Combat encounters, if there's a situation that you know is going to be a combat, then obviously have some notes around that. Social encounters, they might wind up engaging in, particularly if it is not suitable as a combat encounter. This is usually with NPCs or monsters that don't actually present any kind of challenge with regard to a fight. So it's always going to be a social interaction of some kind. Exploration, you may just have aspects to that, including traps, puzzles, if you like to use puzzles. I myself like to use a skill challenge or skill challenges, so you might decide to have an action scene and you use a skill challenge to develop that. You'll find a little bit of information on traps in the Dungeon Master's Guide on page 120 to 123. Unfortunately, things like puzzles, skill challenges, exploration, social interaction aren't well spelled out or detailed in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So you're probably not going to get much help there. My recommendation is when you're trying to build your story, focus on what you know and remember from whatever you've been encountering during your life, or the monster manual is probably the best tool because you have the monsters, you have the pictures, and you have their stories and their lore, and that actually helps you build everything that you need. The monster manual is probably the better tool in this case with regard to encounters. And I'm not talking about just combat. All right, the last thing is reward. for completing the adventure? Like, what sort of rewards are we going to give out for completing that adventure? What sort of character advancement will be taking place? How many experience points are we going to be giving? Are we going to be using milestones? How many milestones will they be awarded? What sort of magic items will they get? Will they be getting some sort of political power? Is there going to be treasure involved or money? Are they going to wind up developing a non-player character relationship, so better contacts? A lot of those things are covered in the basic creation of your adventure. And once you have that, you're pretty much done. But I do have some miscellaneous recommendations. Like everything I do here, I try to give you some recommendations based on my personal experience and frankly other people's experience as well, because mine's probably not going to be enough. Don't spend all your time on developing one concept of an adventure, okay? You can get stuck on this stuff. So just get things down quickly. Once you've got the basic skeleton down, you can go back and refine it if you need to. Don't sweat the creative ideas in your adventure, okay? Don't feel like that what you've done is not really very creative or it's not very original, because everything has been done before. It's all right to steal from stuff. It's all right to use cliches. You don't know what people will like, okay? I've always found that when I make my own adventures, I'm not necessarily sure which ones will actually go down well with my players. I'm always surprised about what they liked and what they didn't like. So you won't find that out until you get to know the people at your table. Now, I'm hoping that this was useful to you. What I would like you to do, if you don't mind, is tell me in the comments how you go about making your adventures. If you have any questions, or have you any feedback that you would like to give. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay. Back over. Let's go to chat, and then I'm going to get started and get busy, because that's what we need to do today, is get busy. So for those of you who don't know how this works, I do a presentation. I go over the basics of building adventures. For those of you who've been here before, you'll be very familiar with this. But then we actually make an adventure. Okay. What you'll find is with everything that I do here, it is always going to go up onto Patreon. So the document will always be something you can edit. It is not designed to be complete. It is designed to be a starting point for you to do your own thing. So if you're a patron, you pay like $1 a month. Is I think the least you can pay, or something like that. It's not very much. There's no tiers, and you get everything that I put up, and there's a lot. Okay, so that's the best way to support this program continuing. And the other thing is super chats and super stickers are always appreciated, but that's not what we're here for necessarily. We're here to create a new adventure. This is the third one we've had a go at doing. We've done a lot of water-based adventures recently, and I thought what would be nice is doing something that was in a volcano. So let's have a look and see how people feel about doing something in a volcano. So it looks to me like we're mostly there. So there's a lot of people just watching. We've got yes is 40%, no is 7%, undecided 13%. Okay, so we're doing a volcano. That seems to be the going thing, is let's do a volcano adventure. Now, a lot of you know how this works. I'm going to pull up the chat on my phone. I'm going to switch over to a Google document, and we're going to get started on the basics of building this thing. And I'm going to do this fairly quickly. It would be good if somebody reminds me when I get into an hour of the stream that I need to take a break, because I forget. It does happen. Okay. Jean, that's right. Go have your cigarette if you need to. Enforcer Hound 1, hello. How are you? It's going all right so far. You just discovered a neat section in Tasha's in the environmental hazards that I thought was neat. Yeah, there's a couple of stuff there. I wouldn't say that it's as much as I had hoped for, but that's beside the point, because we're going to build all that stuff for you anyway as a skill challenge in the future when we do skill challenges again. We've done 2 now. We've done the Indiana Jones boulder trap. We've done a ship in a storm, and I'm sure at some point we'll be doing some sort of environmental hazard or problem, which will probably, could well be an earthquake. Might be an earthquake, you never know. It depends on what people want, yeah? I'll ask some questions. How's it going, Spirit Wolf? Hello, how are you? Nacho Man, hello, welcome. Nacho Man, I'm pretty sure you are now a patron. Am I right about that? I'm pretty sure you signed on just recently. I haven't really had a good opportunity to check who has signed on as a patron, but I think you are. Have I used Spiral campaign building before? No, I haven't. I'm actually unaware of exactly what that is, frankly. So yeah, I I apologize if I haven't been able to say yes to that. I don't know what that is. You'll have to put a link into the chat and point me in the right direction. And yeah, you are Nacho Man. I see you have signed on. I thought I was right. Okay, what do you got here? So I have been attempting to build a domain of dread, not super sure on if I have enough or not. So you're going to build your own domain of dread. So we do world building. We just actually did world building last week. And so that's a good time to sort of do that sort of thing. You bring all your ideas with you and we can help fill it out. No, volcano with no underwater sections. We're going to keep it above the water for today, okay? We've been in the water so much. So Nacho Man, like I said, if you have a link to Spiral campaign building, you let me know by just putting a link in there. If you're able to, if you can't, that's all right. Okay. Solo in the chat. How's it going, Han Solo? Yes, I am a Kiwi. Nacho Man, are you a Kiwi? Is that what you're saying? If you are, I didn't realise. Okay, it's a Sly Flourish thing. Okay, I haven't really paid attention to. I mean, I keep an eye on a lot of stuff that Sly Flourish does, but I can't keep up with everything. Okay, let's let's get on with business because we're here to actually build an adventure, and I've got my phone working pretty well here. It seems to be doing its thing. Yeah, building a session building an adventure one session at a time, depending on what the characters do in previous sessions, which is actually kind of what we're doing here today. The idea behind this is you don't build too much. Do you know what I mean? That's why I've set sort of restrictions on how many locations, how many NPCs, how many encounters, so that you're not building too much. You're building pretty much enough to deal with one session or maybe two, and you're not going too far into the future. Although you might still have an overarching concept or goal that needs to be achieved. Yep. Okay. All right. So he's just coined it Spiral campaign building when yeah. Okay, let's get on with the job, which is find my screen, switch this over, and then go over to my workspace, which is here. And we are going to have to grab, now in this case I'm going to use a book that I've been using quite a lot recently. This is the Mythic Odysseys of Theros. It's full. This thing is absolutely jam-packed with various adventure hooks and goals and so forth. I find this a very good resource. This resource is better than the Dungeon Master Guide. So if you were actually wanting, I know that it's themed on a Magic the Gathering setting, and I know it's based off Greek mythology, or pretty much stolen Greek mythology, but it's one of the best resources and tools that I can think of if you want to build adventures, because it just has so many ideas, okay? And it's all in the right place. You don't have to go searching for everything. It's all pretty close together. Okay, so let's just have a look here. So we're going to create, starting off with, we won't worry about our designation first. We're going to start off with an adventure hook goal, or we're not worrying about recap. We're just dealing with our adventure goal at this present time. So I'm going to just drop this down and make sure I highlight, take that off, put that there. So, hashtag, I will read them out to you. Select volcano adventure hook. Now, the thing is, I want the adventure to be in the volcano. We're not traveling to the volcano. We're going to be in the volcano. So there's a couple of ideas here. I'm going to read them out to you. You'll tell me which ones you like the most, and that's the one I will include. And in fact, I might even start with the ones at the back, because it says Volcano Temple Villains, and then it has Volcano Temple Adventures in this book. And I think that's really what we're going to work with the most. Retrieve big jewel. Well, we could. Let's have a look at what we've got here as part of some options. Acquire an item that wasn't up to Purporia's standards before it cast into the lava. Okay, so something's been cast into the lava and you've got to get it back. Okay. Defend the temple from frenzied zombies emerging from tunnels connected to a collapsed temple. Okay. Steal a phoenix egg from the temple. Shit. Can I just say that when I read that out, stealing a phoenix egg from a temple just seems like phoenix egg, like, I mean, the gem idea that you got here, Spirit Wolf, is not a bad idea, but I feel like volcano, lava, phoenix egg, brilliant. Like, that would be the one I would go for. That just seems so cool. Become an apprentice to one of the priests and craft an item in the temple. Well, yes, we could do that. Explore a ruined temple after an eruption to make sure it is safe for others to enter. It's boring. What else have we got here? Stop the temple priests from destroying well-crafted but substandard armor and weapons that are needed by a nearby settlement. I feel like the Phoenix Egg is the one that we should go for, people. And Phoenix Egg might look like a fire diamond. Who knows? The volcano is erupting. Prevent it or save the most fanatical priests who refuse to leave the forges. Like, who cares? Negotiate with the fire giants who want to use the temple's forges. Pardon me. Destroy a nearby indestructible item in the volcano's forges. That sounds like the one ring going down there. I don't think we need to do that. That's been done before. This big kid likes the phoenix egg. Look, the phoenix egg could be disguised as a big fire diamond or gem. I think that's where we need to go. Rescue an artisan lost in the temple's twisted halls. Okay, so we need to do something. Let's get this down, because this is so simple. Sent for the egg shells needed for a potion, Spirit Wolf. Yes, that sort of builds on it. Jean, I'm not discounting your idea. Befriend a fire elemental. Yes, I suppose we could do that. I still feel like a phoenix egg is like brilliant. Phoenixes in Dungeons and Dragons 5e are just misunderstood. Like they're not giant fire elementals. A soul crystal containing the two ancient genies. Yes, big kid, yeah. So there's quite a few different ideas here. A long dormant volcano has reawoken, giving the people the nearby town some strange dreams and nightmares. Look, I think the Phoenix Egg is the best one, people. I really do. I know I'm kind of... And I think we need to disguise it as something else. When they grab it, it's going to look like something else. It does. How would you build a temple inside of a mountain or a volcano? That's like a whole city to do things in. It's not, and I'll explain, because trust me, I've actually done a bit of prep, and there's a reason why I'm using the Mythic Odysseys of Theros, because it's done a lot of the work for you, so you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. Okay, so let's type in this idea here, because this is actually really good, but we need to build on it a little bit, because in its current form, the concept is nice. The characters are now what are we going to do here? Are they asked? Are they requested? Requested. to steal a phoenix egg. Now, phoenix egg from a volcanic temple. Volcanic temple in the... Well, look, somebody said something about fire giants, and I'm wondering. Well, you could do that, but I'm actually thinking that fire elementals are going to be involved at some point, so we don't need to do that so much. Although you could have the egg there. I'm actually thinking you have to steal it from the actual phoenix, which would be kind of interesting. The characters are requested to steal a phoenix egg from a volcanic temple in the what is it? Fire giant mountains. I can see fire giants having some sort of relationship with a phoenix, maybe. I know you kind of they often get classified as being evil, but mountains. Now, somebody said something about using the eggshell, which goes right back to an old movie where you had to get the rock eggshell to reverse a princess who had been shrunk to a tiny size. I think that's where you got that idea from. So let me see, just having a look back at some of these ideas. The characters are requested to steal a phoenix egg from a volcano in the 5 minutes. No, come on. To use the eggshell to cure now cure what? What are we trying to cure? Because this phoenixes have got a lot of curing going on, and a phoenix eggshell might be able to be used to do that. I think that's where we need to kind of go to cure a terrible plague befalling the empire. Okay, so cure. Okay, so this is not too bad. I feel like that's not too bad. I've taken a lot of your ideas. Nacho Man, I see your ideas there. I think that's not too bad. I think that's all right. Hi Seeker, how's it going? Cure the pandemic, the COVID pandemic. I'm not going to say cure cure a curse. It could be a curse. Let's actually go with why don't we go with something like to cure a terrible curse befalling the empire rather than a plague. Let's go with a curse, Spirit Wolf. I think curse, cure a curse. Now, what sort of curse would it be? That's a good question. So I'm going to put this question in here. What is the curse? A nightmare curse. Okay, well, yeah, going back to Nacho Man's idea. To cure a terrible nightmare curse. Curse befalling the empire. Okay. Well, that question is now no longer required because we've answered that question. Well done. That's actually not too bad. Now, what we do with this is first off, I'm going to make a little note here. The phoenix egg is disguised as a fire diamond. And the original phoenix that actually birthed this thing is no longer around because it's probably the egg, right? Dreadlands, Spirit Wolf, Dreadlands. The Dreadlands? Okay, so you want to go with Dread before the Empire, the Dreadlands. Is that what we were talking about here? I think that's what you're Dreadlands. I'm not too sure what that is. Okay. The characters are requested. Are requested by who? Are requested. Just we don't need to stipulate that just yet. We can get to that in a second. But I think we have a lot of the basics here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down a little bit, spread things out a little bit, and we're going to start doing the rest of the work on this. And I think your Dreadlands is going to be a location. Maybe that's the Empire that we're talking about. Maybe that is. That's that. Undo there. I'm just going to put down Dreadlands as a location for now. I don't know what that was. In reference to Spirit Wolf, so I'm just going to mark that there, right there now. There we go. Every night the city phases to the Dread domain, then returns at dawn. I'm not putting it in the domain of Dread. I'm not putting it in the domain of Dread. Well, maybe. Domain of Dread. The domain Dread. Every night. Okay. Let's. Yeah. Okay. That's the. I get what you're saying here. That's kind of like every night, but that's every night. The every night the. No, it needs to be much wider than this. Every night the Empire phases to a domain of Dread, then returns at dawn. Okay, so I've got that down. Spirit Wolf, not bad. Actually, that gives us an idea of what the actual curse is. A nightmare curse. We don't know what it is. We now have one sentence that describes that pretty well. Okay. Could it hatch and the players have look at after a baby phoenix? Well, that might happen, but we do not need to force that route. Do you know what I mean? We'll leave that for those of you who decide to do something with this. So there's a city that only exists during the daytime, and the adventurers have traveled through the 5 minutes to get to the egg to find it. No, I want to put the whole empire to phase into the domain of Dread and then return it at night. It's the domain of Dread is I guess the domain of Dread doesn't need to change the landscape. This is the thing. Do you know what I mean? So they can still journey to this place, but things are going to be a bit more horrible when night falls. Maybe phase, but some time element to the question to stop long rest abusing. I'm not gonna worry about trying to fix long rest abusing. Again, another thing that I don't think is okay. Domain of Dread lands. Okay, we're going to put that there. Place of nightmares. Okay, so I think we have that location fixed. So let's get into the next thing, because I can see you guys are already starting to throw out a whole lot of events and concepts for an adventure, and it's going to grow out of hand. So what we need to do is I'm going to keep you focused on some basics in terms of how this works. Okay, so I think what I can see you guys are going all over the place. I'm going to lock it down to locations. Locations in this volcanic temple. This is what our next question is. That is our next thing to deal with. Hashtag. What are the locations in the volcanic temple. If somebody can come up with the name of the volcanic temple, that would be great. But we need, what are the different locations within the temple itself, not outside. Okay, so we've got volcanic temple. Volcanic temple. This is the overall place. Okay, we need a name for it. And now some different locations. We need, I think what we need to definitely have is we need a, let's say a sacred volcanic forge. Okay. I don't know exactly what else to say about that, but we'll have a forge here. I think that's going to be kind of fun. What else would you have here? Forge is one thing. Priest quarters. Priest quarters. Oops, we've been spammed. Let me just deal with the spammer bot. No, don't go to channel. God, don't. It's I've been spammed and it's coming fast, mate. Okay, all right. Well, while you guys pumping ideas, I will deal with the spam botty. See if I can eliminate this this problem. If I report him enough, he'll probably go away for a little while. Not for very long, I'd imagine, but you know. This is ridiculous. YouTube has got to be able to get better at dealing with spam bots. These are channels that are just made up by a robot and then just cause this sort of trouble. The only way it works is somebody has created an email address, and I'm sure they shut down these email addresses, but it's just not going to be enough. Do you have a settlement that the players can perhaps return to? Maybe yes. Yes, we need to have a settlement as well. So absolutely. Let us put that at the very beginning. We need a starting point. Point or settlement. Give us the name of a place. Okay. Whoops, that ain't working. Coolest place in hell. Places for visitors, bathhouses, things that a bathhouse. Okay. It wouldn't be called bathhouse though. It would be called something else, wouldn't it? I'm going to put library because you think a temple would have a library, priests, so forth. Library question, library. Now back to your idea. A phoenix nest, seeker, nice one. I must write the word in seeker. Phoenix nest. Phoenix nest. Phoenix nest. I think that's a definite. It's not a question at all. Altar of the first gods. An altar. Okay. Altar chamber. So we've got more than 5 here already, but that's fine. A forward post that's already tied to the access. Okay, so what would that be? Forward access. Hospital where the adventurers see the curse in person and then are given their hook. Hospital, is that the starting point? This is the starting point? That might be the starting point you're talking about. We're going to put hospital. You need to give me the name of the hospital if we're going to use the hospital. If we're going to use the hospital, I need to have a name for that hospital, okay? Volcanic, water at the same time. Yeah, skip water. We're not putting it underwater. I won't put anything if it has to do with water. We've done 2 of those already. We're doing volcano. Let's burn the player characters to death, okay? We're not going to drown them today. Dear. But really good idea with the phoenix nest, and I think the altar chamber is a good idea. We probably need to have, I know what we'll do. Let us put in here, it's probably, if you've got a forge, you probably have a workshop. Let's put in a fire giant workshop. Because then it's I don't know about this, but it seems like it would be fun. The place where Frodo needs to throw the ring. No, we're not throwing no rings into anything. Forget about it. The Life Temple. It could be hospital outpost. We would be in the no. Outpost would be out in the Fire Giant lands, though, right? No, the hospital would be. The hospital has to be in one of the major settlements, so it has to be in a city. Okay, so the starting point is going to be the name of a city. So give us the name of a city. Hospital, the Life Temple, slash Life Temple. Maybe we can come up with something better than that. I think we probably can. The volcanic temple doesn't really have a name, but we've got volcanic temple at present. We've got a Fire Giant workshop. What else? What else is there needing to be here? Priest's quarters, probably. We've got the priest's quarters. Storage, kitchen. Let's put it in a fire kitchen. I'm going to say Fire Giant kitchen because otherwise we forget that the size of things has to be bigger. Fire Giant kitchen. Maybe. You got to live there. What else is going to be here? Toto Sauron. Hello. Welcome to our brainstorm. The settlement in the mountains, maybe, but I mean, it doesn't matter where it is. I just need to have a name of what the settlement is, and we've got the Life Temple as the hospital. Sacrifice cells. Oh, you are so correct, Spirit Wolf. Okay, prison cells. For sacrifices. I agree. Let's do that. Have like a lift in the settlement that takes players deeper into the mountain. Too complicated, I think. We still have missed the point if we don't actually have the name of the settlement, even though we have the hospital Life Temple. You're going in a. It's good that you've got lots of ideas coming. We've got to answer the basics first. Okay. Like, what is this volcanic temple going to be called? Like, yeah. So come up with some names. Place of the burning ones. I'm not sure what that means, Spirit Wolf. But the sacrificing cells, yeah, the place for sacrifices, absolutely. Ruins from the town that got covered by previous volcanic eruption. No, we stay with the location, people. Stay focused on that. Okay. All right. Maybe have a settlement in the mountain. No. I'm scrolling back to see if there's anything I missed. Stone Ship Pier. Stone Ship. So Spirit Wolf, I just seen this idea. I don't know what that is. What is Stone Ship Pier supposed to mean, though? I'm intrigued, but I don't. You need to tell me what Stone Ship Pier is all about, because I'm a little confused. Okay. We've got a lot of that stuff already. Bathhouse. Bathhouse. I guess we can put bathhouse. I don't know what else to say with that. We've actually got more than enough locations, I would say. We could put a shrine in here. It makes perfect sense to have a shrine. Chamber. Okay. Shrine. Might be a shrine. Let's try with a shrine. Okay. Back to here. The enclave. Okay, now we've got some stuff coming. The Flame Basin. Okay, Seeker. Settlement name. Good. Thank you. That's the Flame Basin. Okay, Flame. The Enclave. The Enclave. The Enclave is pretty standard, Nacho Man. What is that going to be related to? The Enclave is for what? The Flame Basin. Okay, hospital life there. We've got that. Simple name place of the burned ones. Lava need a ship of stone. Ah, lava needs a ship of stone. I see what where you're going with this. Okay. Okay, stone ship, pier, and volcano. Volcano for transport. Okay, I think I get where you're going with that. That makes a lot of sense. We now have the potential to wind up going into the enclave is the name of the settlement, maybe. I see, the enclave. Let's go with the Flame Basin Enclave. And it just puts here settlement. I think we got it. Flame Basin Enclave. I think that's the name. I think we got that one. I think that's fine. We'll work with that. To reach it as a rock formation, it's like a ship. I see what you're going with this. So you want to actually sail. I don't think you would put a settlement beside a lava river. I think that would be a very, very silly thing to do. Okay. Right, I see where you. So you can sail around the network of tunnels with the stone ship pier. So this is a good idea. Okay, so we've got a lot of locations. I think we have most of what we need. I know. We'll add in a couple of other things. An ore processing. Chamber. And shrine that's got a kitchen, library, forges, workshops. I think we have most of the things we need. And fire giant priests is just too much fun. Fire giant priests. Okay, Phoenix Nest. Okay, that's good. We've got enough locations. We've done more than we need. I have made a lava river boat. I have actually run a skill challenge on a lava river, and I will share that with you in the future, people. So I'll take my old notes, we'll revamp them for 5e, and yes, we'll do a skill challenge for that. So that's going into encounter building. So here's, I think, the thing that we need to deal with. Non-player characters. We've got plenty of locations, but we need some NPCs. And I want to build those fairly quickly. So I'm going to get you to come up with some names of stuff. Okay, and then I will go on a break while you're working hard. Okay, so hashtag. Hashtag non dash player non-player characters their name, race, purpose, motivation. Putting that in now. Oh, the bot is back again. All right, let's get rid of the bot. Boblin the Fire Goblin. Love it. I love it. We need a purpose for that, though. Let me just get rid of this bot. This bot is really going to give me a hard time. I can see it now. Report. Okay, I don't know if that's solved my problem. It's probably only going to put them in timeout for a short period of time. Flaming Beard the Volcano Pirate. Flaming Beard the Volcano Pirate. I love it. Okay, people. I think you guys have got the right idea in terms of making NPCs. So I'm going to tack in the ones that I haven't seen yet so that I don't forget them. Boblin. Boblin. Fire. Loving. Goblin. It's kind of got some of what we needed. It's not everything, but we've got a good chunk of it. And then we'll put in a number. We're looking for 5. Remember, we need to have a quest giver, patron, and a major villain. Okay. And then I'll put in Toto's ideas here. Flaming Beard. Volcano. Pirate. We don't have a race for our Flaming Beard. Is that a fire giant? Is it something else? Okay. All right. So I'm going to let you guys nut out some NPCs while I go and take a quick toilet break, and then I will be back. So don't leave. Right. Okay. Where was I? Right. Let's shift back over since I am back. And where is this? Video capture. Video capture and back to my screen. Okay, let's have a look at NPCs and what we're getting. I kind of feel like we have to do this, so I'm putting in a adult red dragon. Okay, people, I need a name for an adult red dragon. Help. Okay. Park D, how's it going? Helper. Okay, good. That's what we want. Now I know what that purpose is. Helper, Phoenix that wants to help his kind. Okay. Probably need a name for that Phoenix. But you guys have got the right idea. Absolutely good. Phoenix. That wants to help its kind. Bracket, that's helper. We just need a name. That might be part of what we need to deal with. Okay, good. We're putting that right up the top there. Lava Children, a group of lost fire genasi that live in a secret volcano location. Okay. All right, so I can see I'm going to have to go back and make sure I don't lose some of the stuff, otherwise I will. I think it sounds like there needs to be a fire giant and indoctrinated humanoids at the volcano, but what populates the settlement? Well, I'm not saying the settlement is near the volcano temple. We're not doing that. We want them to actually travel there, and I think really one of these encounters is going to be traveling to the volcano temple in the mountains by Lava River / skill challenge, because at a later date I can build a skill challenge for a Lava River since I've done it before, and it's a shitload of fun. My players loved it. I don't know that necessarily your players will love it, but if my players love it, there's a good chance that yours might too. So we're putting that in there as one of the encounters. So we're traveling there. Okay, people? All right, let's have a look out. What else I've got here? Han Solo, the wizard who cast the curse. Okay, well, who's the name of the wizard who cast the curse? That cast the curse. I don't have anything else with that. I need a bit more. Okay. Spirit Wolf. Sea Soil Adult Dating Information Broker Halfling. What? Sea Soul Adult Dating Information Broker Halfling. I don't know what that is, Spirit Wolf. I have no idea. Is that related to the spam bot or related to this adventure? How is Sea Soul Adult Dating Information Broker Halfling related to this adventure? How's that going to work? Yeah, you're taking the piss out of me. You must be. Was the wizard overseer? Okay. Right, okay, moving along. Lava Man, male street sweeper, spy for leader's wife. Huh? I need a name. When you're doing NPCs, the most important thing is the name. Okay. Name people. Villain. Cast the curse of, or discovered the curse. Okay, I don't know what else to do with that. Does anyone know what the deal is with links? It's not allowing to post. I may have blocked them, and maybe you can't get. It's not coming up that way. Particularly since there's been so much bot problems. Maybe that's what's going on, and you can't put it in. What's this? Greyjaw, wizard drow feeding off the nightmares of people to gain power and live forever. Han Solo, thank you. He's done this for centuries, and I don't know about centuries because we don't want this to be something that's going to be going on for too long. So let's say we've got a name for our wizard. Greyjaw. Drow wizard that casts a curse and feeds off. Where does he feed off? He feeds off nightmares. Nightmares to live forever. Love it. I think that that nailed it down. We got our first NPC with a well, not first NPC. We've actually got a couple. Flaming Beard, the volcano pirate captain. Let's put a pirate captain in here. So we seem to be having so many captains. Captain. And we need to give it a race. And I think, actually, isn't there a fire dwarf? Where's the fire dwarf? I'm pretty sure there is a fire dwarf. Encounter iron golem that protects the forge and feeds it. Or okay, question mark there. Okay, let me find that. That's a flaming dwarf. It starts with A. Is it Azu? Is it Azu? I think it's called an Azu. Does anybody remember Azu's? Aza. Yes, Aza. Page 22 of the DMG. Aza. And that is essentially natives of the fire elemental of plane. Azas are master crafters, expert miners. Perfect. This is what we wanted. Let's do this. It's a male dwarf, resembles a male dwarf. Okay, so it's basically a fire dwarf. Okay, so that's what flame blade is. Azure, good, nice. And we've got to, it's a pretty obvious name, but hey, it's all right. Page 22, Monster Manual. Okay, Helper Phoenix, we've got that. Half Titan Guard, Tylop, bribe me, then you go away. Okay, I don't know what that is. I think I know what you're trying to do here. So, is it Tylop? Tylop. I think that's Tylop, the half Titan that you need to bribe if you want to enter the temple, volcanic temple. Right, so that's actually, this is actually an encounter, isn't it? So we're going to copy, I'm going to place it down here, and tile up the half Titan guard. Okay, tile up the half Titan guard to volcanic temple. Okay, so that's what we have. It's an NPC doing all right. Lava children, a group of lava children. Lost fire genasi. live in Volcano. I think that's it. Secretly. Okay. I think that's good. Name, then job, got it. Race purpose. Oh no, here we go again. It's coming in again. I'm going to have to try and report these again. This is going to just take me so long. I don't think YouTube fully understands just how bad this nonsense gets. It's like it's very disruptive for a YouTuber to have to deal with this. And of course, it's all very well having moderators in chat to deal with that. But why are you having to have moderators to deal with spam bots in the first place? It's just not on. Okay, that's that. And there's so many of them. This makes me really angry when this sort of stuff happens. There's 2 more to go. I mean, how many of these do you have to do before they finally shut down that channel? Hello, Fender. Fender is a patron as well. Welcome. You're a bit late today. It's all right. It's not a problem. Good night, Seeker. Sorry if I missed you. You're probably already gone. How about just sleep in general that make sleep inconsistent, constant threat? From hazards, does sleep, fire make good combination? I'm not too sure what to do with that. Yeah. Yeah, reporting the bots is very helpful. Yeah, there's a three dots, and you do that, and if you report it, and if enough people do, it should do something. But I've done it myself, so it's gone from my feed. Yeah. Okay, NPCs or encounters. We are still doing. I think we still need to deal with some NPCs, but we'll come back to this because it seems to me that a lot of people aren't too sure what to call things. There are some names of things we need to pass out. We need a name for a phoenix. We need a name for an adult red dragon. We don't need to give a name to the iron golem, but I think it would be nice if we could. And I think that actually gives us most of what we've got most of what we need for that. Let's deal with some encounters. So let's go hashtag create some volcano temple. Not just combat, people. Combat's easy. Create some volcano temple encounters. There we go. I'm pumping it in. Let's have a look at what we've got here. All right. So, if anybody is particularly fond of creating names, you're welcome to go hard at it, because we do need a few names for NPCs. Okay. Me, halfling information broker might be happy. A halfling information broker. Okay, so I'm happy to put down halfling information broker, but I need to have a name for a halfling information broker. Halfling information broker. Question mark, because I still don't have a name for this. Names without names, it's useless to us. That's the problem. Hand solo encounter lava rock minefield. Oh, don't get blown up. I love that idea. I really do. That's a trap. Let's put that in. Lava rock minefield. Trap. Do we have some mechanics for that? I mean, actually, probably the easiest way to deal with that is just to use the Dungeon Master damage severity table. Which page is that? Let's just grab this. I'll see if I can find the information now. The Everburnt Ice Claw. Mepho. What? Cinderwing, the Phoenix. Thank you, Fendar. I knew somebody would be able to pull this off, and Fendar is the guy. Thank you. Cinderwing. Okay, so that there is potentially actually potentially the quest giver. It's actually, no, it's a helper. So you'll find a phoenix along the way. So yeah, so that's fine. That's good. That's good. I like that. Thank you. That's great. Everburnt Ice Claw. What is Everburnt? Mepho. What is Mepho? Everburnt Ice Claw and Mepho. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to think out the daily routine of the creature that lives there and what sort of unusual problems they might have to solve. So to give you an idea of things in terms of encounters, and I want to build on this lava rock minefield thing a little bit more. These are the locations we came up with. The Flaming Basin Enclave is in a settlement. This is where we start. This is our starting point. Okay. But we don't actually have somebody who gives out the quest to them at this present time. So we probably need somebody in the hospital or the temple that gives that out. We've got a hospital, the Life Temple, which is in the Flaming Basin Enclave settlement. This is where they will hopefully see the outcome of what's been going on, or this is where they pick up their quest, rather than a tavern, which is good. I'm glad we're not using a tavern. The Domain of Dread Lands, this place of nightmares, this is where the Empire gets transported to when night falls. We have a volcanic temple, but we don't have a name for it. We have a sacred volcanic forge. We have fire giant priest quarters. We have a library. We have a phoenix nest. We have an altar chamber, fire giant workshops, fire giant kitchens, prison cells for the sacrifices to be thrown into lava, a stone ship pier in Volcano for transportation, a bathhouse, because we decided to put a bathhouse in there, a shrine chamber, and an ore processing chamber. And I think we'll actually add in a mine as well. Mine complex. Okay, so there's a lot of locations. Undead gnomes. Yeah, but what does that mean? So what are we doing with undead gnomes? Just undead gnomes it doesn't do very much, John. Like undead gnomes what? I don't want to just write down battles. I want to, like, what do the undead gnomes want to do? What are we doing with it? Question mark. Okay. Give her out of the settlement and away from the social encounters is a good idea. Okay, moving the quest giver out of the settlement and away from the social encounters. Name me foe. I'm still a little bit lost on that. Okay, so here we go. Let's deal with our lava. The lava rock field trap is good, but what are we trying to do with this, and what is our DC for this thing? And I'm pretty sure the DMG has damage by character level, which is probably what we want to sort of look at with building this thing. That's what I normally use, is that's usually my main guide for dealing with a trap. Can I find it easily or quickly? No. Spells, negative. That's magic item power. points. No, it's not. I'm going to have to look it up somewhere else. So, a rickety bridge. Don't fall in lava. Okay, Seth, here we go. That's fine. Let's do a rickety bridge. Rickety bridge. Bridge over a lava river. And a dex check. Dexterity check. I'm going to say DC 15. We'll just make it medium. Okay, that's fine. That's sort of some basics to that. Right. Okay. Oh, come on. This is just ridiculous. This spam botting nonsense is just ridiculous. How many times have I had to do it this time around? It's been a lot. I've reported this spam bot so many times. Every time I do this, it takes up more time. I can see somebody's written in something about the undead gnomes. That's good. Okay, let me just see if I can get this under control. I'm so sorry, people, that we are struggling to keep this thing from going absolutely nuts. It has become... I'm just going to put that one in there. No name, no name, no nose nicks. No nose nicks. I don't know what that's related to. No nose nicks. Moving the quest giver. Done that. House of the Burning Faith. The temple. Thank you. House of the Burning Faith. That's actually not bad, man. Actually, this is the Volcano Temple, isn't it? House of the Burning Faith. Is that what we're talking about? I think. Are you talking about the temple hospital? Or are you talking about the volcano one? That's I guess where I'm a little unsure is what we're dealing with here. So I'm going to put here question mark. I don't know if that's supposed to be there. I think it's supposed to be this one here. House of the Burning Faith. Okay. Question mark. Move on down. Undead gnomes are plaguing the lava people by invading through the lava rocks. Okay. So the undead gnomes. How did we wind up with undead gnomes here? Are stealing the lava children. How's that? I think that's where we're going. Name, Basic, the Blue Goblin. Okay. Hi, Todd. How's it going? Todd is also a patron. Have you tried subscriber-only chat to keep out the bots? I don't want to just restrict it to subscriber. I do want new people to come and enter these things. Rather than them only be, but I see where you're going with that. That would certainly probably help, Todd. You're right. Yeah. I just, it's a tricky one. I see Han Solo has got a whole lot of other ideas to throw out, which is great. Very interesting, dude. Very interesting. Okay, let's have a look here. So, Jean, what I've done is taken your undead gnomes are stealing the lava children. So there's like a little problem for them to solve along the way, which you'll use or you won't use. Okay, so remember the encounters need to be tied to the locations we've created in the temple, that volcanic temple. Okay. Either is good. Well, I think I like the name for the House of the Burning Faith. Sounds like a hospital. Do you know what I mean? Rather than a giant a fire giant volcanic temple. A different name, I think, would work for that. I think that's what we probably need to aim for is, the volcanic temple itself. We need a name for that for sure, but we want something that's more related to that. Okay. Okay, lava rock minefield with superheated geysers. Is it geyser? How do you spell superheated geyser? Do you know the water steam? You get water shooting out. It's a geyser. Geyser. That doesn't look right. That spelling looks bad. I got it wrong. Geyser. There we go. Thank you. Geysers. That'll be fun. Well, it's fun for the dungeon master. Maybe not, but Spirit Wolf. Your idea here. The name, Basic, the blue kobold. I'm just going to add that in. Non-player characters. We don't have one at present. Basic. The blue kobold. There's not much else to him. There is a few things missing, like there's what's his purpose. It's not just that. With Basic, the other thing is like, what is his purpose in the story as a non-player character? Gnomes were trapped in the mountain. The molten mausoleum for the yes, Fender. Good. Man, you're good at this. You're really good at this, man. The molten mausoleum. That's very clever. Mausoleum. Volcanic fire giant temple. There we go. That is nailed it pretty nicely. And I think I'm happy with that too. That's good. Geyser, yeah, same. Some hot liquids and fumes going to the bathhouse to keep the stone floors and pools heated. Yes, exactly. They might match up. I don't know that we need to do that. Frankly, I'm not convinced that we absolutely need to do something with that like that. But let's go back to where we were dealing with. So have we got all locations named? We do. Okay, so let's do a quick recap, since there's a couple of things that I've seen to have missed. Let's get our non-player characters in. This is really me just saying, come up with, just use real names from your own campaigns, people. Because it's just a list of free NPC names. And that has been one of our biggest problems, is getting NPC names. So, give me 5 player character names, race and class. Okay, let's keep it very simple. Really, the reason for doing this is just to get the names, basically. All right, so I'm going to let you guys work on coming up with a list of non-player characters. Just use names and races and classes from your own existing games. Just type them in and I'll add them in, and we can use them as sort of a basis for fleshing out our non-player characters, because we've got we've got an adult red dragon that we can put somewhere and he's got no name, or she's got no name. We've got an iron golem that doesn't have a name. We've got a halfling information broker that's got no name. We don't actually seem to have decided on who is the quest giver as such. Like, what's their name? What are they? And why? You know, it seems to me that it's going to have to be somebody in the hospital. Right, cool. Let's get those down. Let's get those names down now. This will help me just tell Telisa. Telisa is a tiefling. Tiefling sorcerer. Tiefling sorcerer, good. That'll do. Very nice. Thank you. Let's just bold that. Let's get this done nice and quick. And the next one. Oh, we've got lots of names coming through now. Sweet. Big Kid, I'm sure you can do this. You can do this. I know you can. Toll. Check. Human what? Monk. Monk magic user? Really? Monks slash magic user? Okay. Okay, cool. Got that. Who else? Fire GNRC. Oh, go. There's a name. Cool. Lumbry. So here's the thing. If you hadn't figured it out, you could wind up with the your character, if this is your own character, making its way into somebody else's adventure as an NPC. You do realize this, people. It's like you're sharing your some of the very basics of your character with somebody else. I know a lot of you have multiple characters, so this isn't going to be hard for you to do. Tolchek. You laughing, that one? Thank you for that, Big Kid. I've got that one. Spirit Wolf, I got yours. And Shiner81, I've got yours. That's good. Socks, the Tabaxi Bard. Thank you, Fender. Socks. Tabaxi. Oops, I've got that wrong. Tabaxi Bard. Thank you. You wouldn't have it. I would make the quest giver some sort of healer at the hospital. That's exactly what I was thinking, Jean. So characters can go for healing, but they have to go all the way back to the settlement for supplies. Yes. Who thinks that he is a miniature fire giant with a big attitude. Todd, I don't know. Oh, right. I see. There's a character, right. Dizel. I completely missed it because of all the detail you gave me. Gnome who thinks he is a miniature fire giant. Big attitude. I feel like that is an NPC, mate. I'm taking it out of the list of player characters, although we'll probably use a lot of them for that anyway. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to stick it where I think it needs to go, and I think it needs to go under this list here. Paste it. Okay. Now, back to characters. We've got quite a few here. Yes, cool. Thank you, Big Kid. There's another one. Guy, yeah. Why, Guy Pin. Grimfin. Dwarf, Cleric. This character might wind up being that quest giver if we're not careful. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of names here. Name the red dragon. We've got to have a name for the red dragon. Okay, name the adult. I'm putting an adult red dragon in here. Okay, because why not? Adult red dragons, they can get along with fire giants. No, 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 not again. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. This is just unbelievably annoying. This thing has actually chewed up so much time that we would normally spend doing this. And I think I might have to set them to subscriber only just because of this very problem. But then the problem is, will the bots just get past that? Will they figure out how to subscribe to my channel and then just get in here anyway? I'm at work just listening. That's fine. Overboard Miniature Gaming. Joe is a patron as well. Thank you for listening in, mate. Okay, so we've got a name of a dragon coming in. Cool, cool. Cinderwing Bot Eater. No, it's not going to be called that. Spirit Wolf. That's not the name of the dragon. Can we call the red dragon Chat 69? We are definitely not doing that, Nacho Man. It's not happening. I don't want that. Araxis. Rendar Dubious. Is it Rendar Dubious? Renard Dubious. Renard Dubious. I think that's actually not a bad name. Ember Herd. Fire Flare. Mountain Rain. Hello, Agile Monk. How are you doing? Agile Monk is also a patron, supports the channel and things like that. And Agile Monk, you know what's just happened. I've just made you a moderator, mate. Okay, if you can help control that goddamn bot, that would be great. Because it's back again, and it's really beginning to bug the hell out of me. But yeah, if you're able to get in there and contend with him, it's actually done it again and really quickly. It's only just had all that stuff reported and it's gone into overtime again. I can't believe this. I'm so sorry, people, because I'm not typing stuff in and taking your ideas when this sort of thing happens, and it's just not on. Oh, okay, all right. I feel like Gazner of Fates, Joan. Okay, that's a very hard name for me to pronounce, but interesting. So we are going to go down to the fire giant. The red dragon. We need a name for an adult red dragon. So I'm going to just type in a whole lot of these ideas and I will siphon through them. Okay. Okay, so this is Araxis. I like Araxis because I can pronounce it and it sounds very dragon-like. We're not calling it Cinderwing Bot Eater. And we're not calling it that. And now here. Zavax. It's Gash of Fates. Interesting idea. Ember Herd. I think we've got Ember Herd here as well. Ember Herd. Okay. All right. I think I got enough names for dragons. So let's go hashtag encounters. Create encounters. Let's get that sorted out. In Volcano. Volcanic Temple. And I will read out the location. So you build an encounter for that a particular location. So give me the name of the location. Name, location that it's going to be attached to. It's better to build an adventure that is location based rather than something else. And primarily the reason is I'm removing and reporting. Thank you, John. Okay. Let me just get the rest of these dragon names in, and you guys, look. I'll give you the names of the different locations so you got an idea and pick something that appeals to you. Okay, we've got the we've got the Mountain Mausoleum is the actual fire giant, the volcanic fire giant temple. But the locations within it are the sacred volcanic forge. There's a forge there. There's a fire giant priest quarters. There's a library. There's a phoenix nest. There's an altar chamber. There's a workshop, a kitchen. There are prison cells for sacrifices. There's a stone ship pier. There is a bathhouse, a shrine chamber, an ore processing chamber, and a mine complex. So you've got plenty to play with, people. So come up with something for those, and I will bang them in. Okay. Fire. Oh, this is going to be a just isn't enough enough fingers sometimes. Mountain rain. Mountain rain. I got that one. Ember flight. Thank you for that, Big Kid and Agile Monk. I've got your ideas down. Big Kid is Tracks Than. Ember flight. Okay, got that one. Runa do. Okay, so Runa. Sorry. Runa Duboa? Okay. Are there any more dragons? Or are we done with that? Like Zippo Fax. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. We got here Han Solo. Helix, the divine sorcerer, half elf. She is the head healer at the hospital. Thank you, Han Solo. Nicely done. I appreciate that. Okay. Are you also creating a quick drawing of the volcano? No, I'm not. I'm not going to have time. There's not going to be time. I've been spending all my time dealing with bots. But let's go back to NPCs. You guys are creating encounters for those locations, right? Well, I'm hoping you are. Helixa. Divine Sorcerer, Half Elf, Half Elf, okay. Head Healer at Hospital. Asks characters for help. Good. It's one of your characters. Well, it has now become the patron giver or the quest giver. No, this is good. This is your quest giver. I'll put it in brackets. That solves a lot of our problems. Okay, good. All right, now. Logan Blacken, dwarf fighter with burns all over his hands and forearms. James Lee, hello. Welcome to our chaos that I have been trying to manage. I'm probably not going to be taking more of your characters. What I really am after now are encounters for the locations I talked about before. So if you remember what I said, those are the locations we have. We need to build something for those locations. Really, we've got way too many locations. I said 5 and we've got like 17. It's a lot. Okay, so I'll put this one in here. We might use it, we might not. Direct. Human fighter. And Spirit Wolf, what have you got here? You've got something else as well. Gester Cuts Yuts. Gester Yuts. Half half ogre, really? Okay. Fighter. Okay, that's enough of that. We need to get the some encounters sorted out. I want some stuff we can use, people. So if I see you've written down a character name, I'm probably going to ignore it. And I apologize, but I need to do that. And their locations. Yeah, so you can counter for the temple. Some fire giants are doing a ritual to bring back their deceased king. That's nice, Fender. Good. Now we're talking. So that can take place in the altar chamber, could it not? Let's do that in the altar chamber. In the altar chamber, fire giants are performing a ritual to resurrect their dead king. Dead king, and ask the they might want to interfere with this and ask the characters for some fine crafted items in exchange for information. Okay. Very good, Fender. Love it. Oh. Runar, thank you. Sorry about that, man. I've got way too much going on. Park D, I'm not as imaginative as these other suggestions. That's all right. You're doing your best. And just throw out stuff and I'll pick up what I can. It's like the blue hobgoblin is escaping Sklay. Oh, I see. Okay. That's actually what we put in here. Slaves are escaping or trying to escape the prison cells. That is an encounter. Escaped slave. So where is this character that we had before that did not get anywhere? Basic, okay. Escaped slave. Let's have him he's actually escaped slave. I think this is a good idea. I think that's going to work quite nicely. Thank you very much. Right, Basic, this is at the temple who can offer an extra information, NPC hints. Okay. All right. I see what we're doing with this. Focus on the encounters, people, because we just don't have enough of them. NPC list. Dear Temple Assistant. Who can offer extra information. We don't really have for that character. We don't have a name. No, we don't. We have a name, but what do we don't have? We don't have a race. Race is the question. What is the race going to be? Oh no, you're gonna be kidding! It's back again. This is just. I'm not really happy, people. This is not an experience. When you go to all the expense that I've gone to make sure everything is going to be as high quality as possible, and set everything up, I do not like the chat bots are just out of control. Right, okay. Let's see if that's fixed that problem. The players could be at the busy bathhouse, then the steam fills the bathhouse and surrounds areas. When the fog dispenses, the players realize the workers are undead. Okay. Steam-filled bathhouse. Full of... Why would you have... You wouldn't have undead. If you have a place full of fire giants, you wouldn't have undead. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, big question mark there on that one. Volcanic fumes could really be anything or have any effects. Yes, they could. So Toto, yeah. I like the idea of filling the room in the bathhouse with steam and revealing something, but they can't be all undead because fire giants wouldn't put up with that. We need some sort of fire. Just healing won't suggest bathhouse. It is. Yeah. Okay. See, big kid. The foundry need to negotiate to get for gear to not suffer exhaustion. Iron Shelley can help. I see. Are you trying to bring an Iron Shelley? Iron Shelley in this location may not make an awful lot of sense. I mean, I like the character, but I feel like fire giants would eat a Iron Shelley, the turtle, or turtle, shall I say. Hot springs around the bathhouse contain... Oh, volcanic mermaids. Oh, that's clever. That's actually hot springs from the bathhouse. Yes. Yes. Steam-filled bathhouse full of volcanic mermaids. That's funny as. That lure. Intruders to their death. Yeah, I can do that. Let's do that. Nice idea. Toto, much better. Absolutely love it. Great. 12 Fingers, Fiona is the halfling in the information broker. So, Spirit Wolf. The halfling information broker. Okay, yes, that's what we want. Twelve Fingers, Fiona. How do you get Fiona? Fiona. That's very, very good. Yeah, no, I've reported them at my end as well, but thank you for doing that. It's good. I'll have to make sure that I keep you as a moderator. It's going to help a lot. Right, so back to encounters. And I'm out of time too. Let's just see if I can finish up what we've got here. Boiling in volcanic waters, mermaids actually work and heat the baths. Yeah. Temple is like a section where the players are walked into. Yeah, I see where you're going. Okay. Negotiate with the Phoenix in the nest area. To steal the egg. Now, why would the Phoenix do this? One, because if the egg hatches, they can still have the shells and do what they need to do, and the Phoenix succeeds in a new Phoenix coming into existence. So they're not contrary in terms of overall what they're trying to achieve. I think that's all we're going to get done today, unfortunately. We've done a lot in a very short space of time. I don't even know what the name of this adventure is going to be called. Frankly, I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Anyway, let us shift back to here. And yes, so once this live stream goes is no longer sort of waiting to be doing its thing, chuck into the chat what you think the name of the adventure could be, because I think that would be very helpful, because I'm not going to have time to actually pick it up on the chat. Although, you never know, if you put it in there and I spot it later, then that, but I'm probably going to spot it more likely in the chat after the live stream ends. So let us end the poll. We've done a reasonable job, in my opinion, in getting things done. Free bird. Free bird. I see, that would be the name, Free Bird. Okay, all right, making a note of that. Anyway, let's get me signed out so that I can go to work, and we will be back tomorrow to do NPCs. We've got to create some NPCs, something interesting, hopefully. So I want to say thank you to all of my patrons. Thank you to everybody who's been watching my live streams, but particularly for everybody who's been taking part and giving your ideas. Don't feel bad if I didn't take your idea, or I didn't like your idea, or I took your idea and I put it down in a way that you weren't expecting. It's just utter chaos. As the brainstorming comes through, we just do what we do, okay? So thank you for watching my live streams and the replays and my edited videos. I do appreciate it. You've all been fantastic. Should I just say, like, absolutely brilliant. I've loved the experience. It's been more fun than I've had in a long time, and these keep continuing to be a lot of fun. So wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the night, or the wee morning or afternoon, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Han Solo, you're on the right track.